Back. It's been a long time coming. We took about a week off, just scheduling issues, health issues. As in, like we were just sick. A couple of us, some of us has had a cold, so we were just trying to get back, get our mojo back. So it's been about a week since we've been on here, guys. But we're gonna get back into that normal schedule. It is Thursday. We're gonna get on here before the Thursday night football game. Talk about Thursday night football. Talk about the topics in the past week, maybe week and a half of everything that's happened in the NFL, and then we'll give you guys, like always, our top five MVPs candidates, our top five teams in the league so far. So I'm the Wager Zone, your host, and this is our co-host, Hezzy Hybrid. Say what's up to the people, Hez. Yeah, exactly. Like we never left. Back into after the snap, episode 17. By the time the season's over, we're going to have about like 30, 35 episodes. So let's get right into this, guys. We'll get into our first topic of the day. First topic of the day, guys, is going to be the Steelers lost to the Chargers this past week. We were talking a couple of weeks ago about how we thought this was the Steelers division to take. We thought we were saying that this is like the Steelers spot. They're probably going to end up winning this division with how the Ravens looked. Now with the Ravens going out here and winning games, and the Steelers losing to the Chargers, and now they're falling a little down in the record. Where now I think the Ravens are about a game and a half back. The Bengals are like two games back, and Joe Burrow will be coming back. He said he's gonna try to get back by Thanksgiving. So with all that going on, with the losses the Steelers have had recently, I'll let you lead this one off. Is do you think that the Steelers have officially lost the division, and now they won't be able to win the division anymore?
Um, yeah, I think we were kind of touching bases back on it. The last couple of episodes before we took our little hiatus is that they just don't look good, man. They're not really playing the type of football that we were expecting them to play, or that really anybody is. So, um, Aaron Rodgers is really struggling back there, and then when he does have to kind of lead some sort of miracle comeback, he literally just tries to play hero ball, and they don't really have a good chemistry going on with the receiving core. Obviously, running back is pretty position is a little bit of an issue, and if it's not that, then their defense are just giving up way too easily on the opposite side of the ball. So. Right now, yeah, man, they really are struggling, and I don't even know how if they are gonna somehow get it together because they just look like they're totally out of sync right now. Nobody's really talking to each other and communicating like, hey, we need to, get back on the next drive and make this more of a competitive game. As we've seen with the recent loss against the Chargers, everybody thought it was going to be more of a closer game, but clearly the Chargers were just putting their foot down. We're like, no, like we're making a statement that we're going to come up on our division, but as facing another conference rival, you would think the Steelers would have made it a little bit closer, but clearly it's not. It's really not their season to kind of, be in that, especially because a team that was also dead in the water that we had pretty high coming into the season, which is the Ravens being about a game or a half back. Now it's their turn to kind of come back up and make a statement. So yeah, I definitely say the Steelers are in trouble right now.
Yeah, I have to agree, and I don't even think they're going to win the division anymore. I think that division is going to go probably to the Ravens. I want to say if the Ravens could keep going out here and playing the way they should be playing, like the defense for the Ravens is coming back now. Like we expected the defense for the Ravens to be playing that good. Now with how good the Ravens are playing, and just like you said, the Steelers look so out of sorts. Like DK and Aaron Rodgers are not clicking right now. Aaron Rodgers, the one thing he is scared to get hit. Like I've seen on like two games in a row now where the defensive edge gets past the line, and he flinches so fast. He just throws the ball down to the floor. He just tries to throw it real quick because he doesn't want to get hit. So, and it's understandable because the man's 40, I think he's 40, 41 years old. So it's understandable why he doesn't want to get hit. But that's not winning football. Like Kurt Warner used to say this a lot. Kurt Warner used to always say, you have to be able to stand in the pocket and take a shot to give a shot. And it's true. you're gonna have to be able to stand there, take a shot if you want to deliver this ball perfectly. Because sometimes it's that extra second where you have the timing and throw the ball, and yes, you might take a hit, but as long as the pass gets there, and that's what Aaron Rodgers he's not willing to do at this point of his career. And like I said, understandable. The man's 40 years old, but he's not looking good right now. There's a streak in about 3 years now. Aaron Rodgers has not thrown for over 300 yards, and he hasn't thrown for two. I think he's in the like the stat was in the past 17 games he has played. He hasn't thrown for over 250, or is one game out of 17 games he's thrown over 250. So he's not really throwing the ball that far. He's kind of deking and dacking down the field, and he's trying to catch a deep ball with DK, but that does not work out because Aaron Rodgers doesn't have the arm anymore. DK isn't the best route runner. I think we said that in the beginning. I think I was the one that said that in the beginning of the season, where I was like, I don't know if they're going to be able to click because he's not the best route runner, and Aaron Rodgers loves good route runners. So, and then they can get into
Yeah.
the run game. The run game, they have a good run game. The run game, I can't remember the running back's name. I just had it on tip of my tongue right before I started talking, but it starts with a J. I know that for sure. But he's a pretty good running back. But at the same time, they're not giving him the touches. They're trying to force Aaron Rodgers to win the game. The offensive line is not blocking too well. And the one thing I want to get into is the defense. The Steelers pride
Oh,
themselves on great defense. Yes, they've had six total turnovers in about I think it was like 3 games, and they won all those. But besides those turnovers, if they're not getting turnovers, they're not getting stops. Like if they it's either they get a fumble or they get an interception. But if none of those two happens on the drive, the team's gonna drive it all the way down the field and score at least a field goal. And they're giving up points left and right. And it's not sustainable, especially for a Steelers team where they pride themselves on their defense, and it's just not there this year. So to answer the question like straight, it's no, yeah, I said like no, they're not going to win the division anymore. I think it's open for the Ravens to come in there and steal it, and you got to watch out for the Bengals. The Bengals come out there and they win this weekend, and Joe Burrow comes back in about a week, and then they go on this crazy run and start winning games with Joe Burrow. It's possible, like, but the Bengals defense, I'm not going to trust the Bengals defense to even hold anybody. So that's a little bit more of a stretch for the Bengals, but it's just something they got to worry about now. But the Ravens are right on their tail, and the Ravens, I think I told you this. I told you that the reason why the Ravens probably weren't done and dead in the water, the same with the Bengals, is because you can win 9 games in this division and win the division. It's
yeah.
because so it's a bad division right now. Nobody's playing well besides the Ravens, where they're playing well. So I think they officially with this loss against the Chargers, I do believe they have lost the division, and I think the Ravens are going to come up and swipe it away from them.
Yeah, man. It's pretty much wide open now. When at first, like literally not even a month ago, we were just like, yeah, the Steelers might just end up walking away with this division just due to so many injuries from the Ravens. Um, Bengals can't really, they weren't clicking as much before they made that Joe Flacco trade. And then, as for Cleveland, they're obviously still trying to establish just a real culture there in general. So, um, yeah, man. And I don't really see that the Steelers are gonna actually make some little adjustments because at this point in time, it looks like they're just gonna ride it out.
Yeah, they had their window is officially closed. So yeah, we were both in agreement. The window's closed to them. I do not believe they're going to win this division now. Like I think literally the Ravens are going to come swipe this away pretty easily, in my opinion, or even the Bengals making a giant run towards the end of the season have a chance to win it. So now I'll
Ever
leave this. What was that?
oh, oh no, the last statement I was gonna say, and we've talked about it many a times before in other episodes. But literally, ever since Mike Tomlin's opened his mouth about before they even started playing that Cincinnati game, um, it's just been downhill. I'm like, man, like you're literally cursing your own team. And then
Hmm.
stats wise, since we were talking about Aaron Rodgers, like that was the only like decent game he actually had, or pretty good game he's had. Obviously it was a little bit back and forth towards the end, and he tried his best to kind of lead them to come back and win the game. But ever since that game, it's literally just been down. Like they've been progressing downwards as a team.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. You said it going into that game. Mike Tomlin opened his mouth, and then they went out there, and ever since then, it's all the way down. And that speaking of Mike Tomlin, that just leads us to our next question, where I'll lead this one off. Like, with if the Steelers lose this division, and then they have their first under 500 season. I think it's in about I think it was 10 or 11 seasons they've been over 500, maybe even longer. But I think that's about how long it's been. If they have their first negative season under 500, do you think it's time to move on from Mike Tomlin? I'm gonna say sadly yes. I think Mike Tomlin's a phenomenal coach. I've always said if I played in the NFL and I was on a team, like if I was a football player and I played in the NFL and there was one coach who asked me if I wanted to play for, it's probably Mike Tomlin. Like he's the guy that rallied the troops. He's the probably like the most like in culture coach that is with the players, ride or die all the time with the players. So I've always said I've wanted, if I played, I play for Mike Tomlin. But it's just sad to say. I think it's not even. It doesn't have anything to do with him. It's more of they just need a change in Pittsburgh. Like they are doing the same things every single year, and ever since Big Ben left, and even before Big Ben left, and he was on his last legs as a, like 4 year old, or I think it was like 38, 39-year-old quarterback playing. Ever since Big Ben left, they have not been the same. They're doing the same things. They're having a good time going forward, and then like they make the playoffs, and then they get a one and out. And then now this year, they've done it like 3 years in a row now. They haven't won a playoff game in about 8 or 9 years, I think it is. So
Yeah,
if they go into the playoffs again, say they make the playoffs, best thing they're going to do is in and out again. They're going to go and lose game one, and they're going to be out again. So it
yeah,
just like you just need to change the culture a little bit, and I think they need a new face of the franchise besides Mike Tomlin. I do think Mike Tomlin can go out there and get a really good job. I think Mike Tomlin is a good coach, and he could go out there and maybe go in there and he coaches the Bills or he coaches like one of those top franchises where they've already have a quarterback where he just comes in and fixes the defense up a little bit, fixes the run game a little bit. And that's what Mike Tomlin can do. But as of right now, with him not having a quarterback in Pittsburgh, the running game is off and on, bringing in new people. Then now the defense is taking a hit, even though they've invested so much money. The most expensive defense in the NFL is the Steelers, and they're just not playing that good as well. So, yeah, I think it's time to move on from Mike Tomlin. Like, because as of right now, if they don't win this division, I do believe it's time. Like, they probably need to tell Mike Tomlin to go get another job and bring a different head in there.
yeah, man. I totally agree with you because I've also been a big fan of Coach Tomlin for some years. Um, it's just he's obviously been there for quite some time, and for the most part, he's always had successful seasons,
Hmm.
regardless if they go far in the postseason or not. But you know, realistically, he only went to the big dance one time, and then they end up losing at, and then which ironically is the quarterback they end up signing now years later. So, um, record wise, it's like yeah, you're doing good, but you still haven't inspired the team enough, I would say, as a whole, to get over that hump and to actually
Hmm.
get back into what everybody remembers the Steelers being, which is reaching the Super Bowl at some point. And then, what I have noticed too in terms of how he likes to choose single-handedly choose his players is that he's a little bit biased when it kind of comes down to drafting certain players. Like I've noticed a lot of them have to some reason. I don't know if it's because maybe he's from that state, but he's always constantly looking out and trying to, rather if it's a high draft pick or even some unrestricted rookie free agents, he's always constantly looking from a player from Virginia. And I'm like, dude,
Hmm.
it's cool. I get it, but that's like one out of a million chances that you're going to find a stud player from the state alone, but you're always constantly looking for players that are coming from the Virginia Cavs or like William and Mary and all these other players
Mhm.
that usually do better when once they do leave Pittsburgh because they get picked up onto a practice squad and they get elevated into another position or just systematically fit better. But yeah, I just feel like it's kind of been his Achilles heel, if you will, for the last like 6, 7 years. Is always constantly being biased of drafting certain players, drafting certain players, and yeah, I just kind of feel like totally just need like a fresh start, and that's just kind of where the league is nowadays too, to where you see head coaches come in and out all the time, but usually somebody with a better scheme that's going to just simply play winning football. And not to say that he hasn't been, but it's clearly not translating to when the team really needs it the most. So, and I know everybody there, for the most part, as a from an organization point of view, are probably gonna look at him and be like, "Nah, we're probably gonna blame it on somebody else before we blame it on Mike." But while he's there, nothing's really changed. To your point,
Mhm.
it's like, what else is there really else to do? It's a kind of a younger league now at this point, from top to bottom. So at this point, it has to start from the head coaching job. You guys obviously been recycling through numerous quarterbacks since the Big Ben days. And even with Aaron Rodgers, clearly they're not going to go anywhere this season. And who's to say he's going to be back next season? So clearly they're going to try to figure out of who's going to be the next guy, rather if they draft somebody or trade for somebody. Everybody it's a completely different culture now. But the only one that still remains is him. So I feel like in order for the Steelers for the years ongoing, they're going to have to start with him and just have a fresh start.
Yeah, like I just said, like I said too, like I fully agree with that. Just because it's not even, it's not even like saying like fire Mike Tomlin because he's a bad coach or fire him because of like the he hasn't won or anything. This guy does win. He wins a lot of games, but when they come to the playoffs, they don't win anything. And that's because the offense is so stagnant. And for a long time, the defense has been the thing that's been carrying them the whole way. The defense and the run game, and then the offense has been a little stagnant because the quarterback can't get it right. It seems that they
Hmm.
actually got the quarterback right this year. He's not playing the best, but he's playing better than Mason Rudolph and Mitch Trubisky and all them did. He's playing better than them. But now the run game is a little off because they're not even giving the guy touches, and when they do give him touches, they put him in bad systematic areas where they just running the ball at the time they shouldn't be running the ball, or they're just bad plays where they're just like not running, putting a good scheme up for him to run the ball in. And then the other
Right.
thing is the defense. Like as I said, the most expensive defense in the league, and they can't even get that right. They're not even playing well right now. So yeah, it's like I said, it's not Mike Tomlin's fault as per se to where like I'm firing him because it's all on you. It's a organization as a whole. When at that point when it's the whole organization that's taking a hit, you need to at that point you need to just chop it all down, get a new coach, and get new players, and get a new GM. Just chop it all down and start all over because that's the best way you're gonna go about it. So yeah, there's nothing else I really have to say about that. Like I just say that I feel bad for Mike Tomlin because he's such a good coach and he's such a good guy, but it's just time for a new culture change in Pittsburgh. Like that was working to win regular season games, and then looking good with the good defense, but now it seems like, especially with the NFL kind of transitioning into the offensive era, you're gonna need to probably go out there and get an offensive coach. That's probably the best thing you probably have to do. So, yeah, I we both in agreement. We both think it's probably time for to move on from Mike Tomlin. Anything else you want to say?
Um, no, just like we both agree. Like he's arguably personality wise and the type of caliber coach that he is. He can easily, let's say if they fired him tomorrow, he can easily have a job with really any other team, rather if it's trying to build a team from the ground up or actually being a part of a winning franchise at the moment. His
Mhm.
resume speaks for itself. Like almost every season, he has winning seasons. It just doesn't really translate into the playoffs. So um, that part I wouldn't even have to worry about if he'll ever have a job again. But his days in Pittsburgh, man, just seems like it's outnumbered, and it's like, what more do you really have to give, and what really is there to prove? Like Maybe it's just they're the ones holding him back per se, and then let's say he goes to, I don't know, he ends up going to another winning franchise, and then like as soon as he gets there, that's all they needed was somebody like him, and next time he goes to the Super Bowl, and it's like,
Hmm.
man, and creates a dynasty or something hypothetically. So yeah, man, I feel like while he's still able to coach, I feel like he should take his chances and see where he can actually be a big help.
There's only two places I can see Mike Tomlin going, to be honest. Like, just think about it. There's only two places I can see him going. Actually, three. Three places I can see him going. Number one would have to be the Buffalo Bills. But that's if the Buffalo Bills don't come out here and make an AFC championship. Or at this point, if the Bills go in there and lose again to the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs and they don't, or they just get knocked out in divisional round, they're going to need to get rid of their coach. I think it's Sean McDermott. I think that's his name. Maybe I said his name. I think it's Sean McDermott. They probably have to get rid of him and get another coach. And Mike Tomlin would be a good spot for that. Other place would be Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons would probably
Mm,
have use Mike Tomlin very well. That defense is really good. He knows how to scheme up some defense. He knows how to draw up a running game with Bijan Robinson there. The quarterback, they need to figure it out a little bit, but it's nothing new that he's not used to. And the Dolphins are just desperate to get into the playoffs, and you want to get into the playoffs. Mike Tomlin's the guy to get you there. Then that last place where I highly doubt it, but it'll be a perfect fit in my opinion. Cincinnati Bengals. That'll be a perfect fit for Mike Tomlin. He gets the quarterback he always needs and wants. He gets Joe Burrow. He gets a wide receiver core that he likes. He loves having good wide receivers. You go back to the AB and Juju days, and who else? He had Mike Williams and, and guys over there. And when he even had George Pickens over there, he loves having those great receivers. So and then the one thing the Bengals have been missing is a defensive coach, a coach to go out there and coach that defense. And Mike Tomlin's the guy to do it. So if he ends up
yeah,
leaving, which I do believe is probably gonna be his last year in Pittsburgh, those are the three spots: Bills, Bengals, Atlanta Falcons. And the most likely one, in my opinion, is probably going to be Atlanta Falcons, and then Bills if they don't make it to the championship, and then Bengals is kind of far fetched, but that's the I put it this way: that's the perfect fit for him. Like, if I can think of perfect fit, it's the Cincinnati Bengals. But same division as the Steelers. I don't know if they want to bring him into Cincinnati because they've already had rivalries and stuff like that. But it just depends. But I think that's a perfect fit for him. But now let's just stay in the division. Stay in the division with the team that we said is probably going to take over the spot. It's going to be the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are on a 3-game winning streak right now. They won a game with Hutley at quarterback before Lamar came. They won two back-to-back games again. With Lamar. Last game, Lamar didn't look like Superman. The first game he came back, he threw for 4 touchdowns. He looked great. This last game, he came out there, looked a little bit off, but they still won the game. That's all that matters. But now, with the defense showing up now, me and you've been saying all year that the names on that defense, they should have a really good defense. In the past 4 weeks, that defense has been showing up. They've been playing really good football, and they're looking like a top 10, top 8 defense in the league at the moment. So with Lamar Jackson coming back and the and the defense playing so well, and this was your pick to go to the Super Bowl in the beginning of the year. So this is perfect to ask you: would you say now the Ravens are Super Bowl contenders with the way they've been playing recently?
starting to kind of pick back up of where he was um, beginning in a early in the season, but um, yeah, man, it really just really depends. It really just depends of how much he can still contribute to that team. Obviously, we all know what he can do at this point in his career, but as long as they can manage to pretty much keep him healthy and not, keep coming in and out like a Jaden Daniels situation. Just they have to protect him at all costs. Like they cannot afford to lose him again. But
Hmm.
on top of that, like I feel like it's not just him. The defense, who you just said that's been stepping up, they have to. They really don't have any room for error or margin for error because if the Ravens can get back into scoring competitively again, but they can't stop anybody,
Hmm.
then that's just pretty much going to be their Achilles heel for the rest of the season. But as far as division wise, like it's theirs for the taking. You know, between them and the Bengals, like almost feel like the Ravens can have that little disadvantage of them because if they actually feel like they want to, then between their two defenses, Baltimore should be easily right in front of all of them. So, um, yeah, it really just depends. Right now, I don't want to say that they are Super Bowl contenders just because of all the stuff they've been going through so far. But they I'm not going to count them out just yet. It's just a matter of how consistent they can play from here on out, and you know, the strength of their schedule is on their side. So if they can just keep winning, then everybody can start looking back up and be like, yeah, this is the team that we expected to see them make a deep run, not only in the playoffs, but eventually making the Super Bowl. So, or even giving like the teams like the Chiefs or the Bills a runs for their money to come out of that conference. So, just right now, I might have to revisit this in the next couple of weeks, but I'm gonna say no, just for the time being. But I do have faith that they can finally get it together and come out of that division.
Yeah, I understand about how you said you want to revisit this in a couple weeks because we would know more in the next couple weeks if the Ravens are going to be on top of the division. I mean, on top of like the Super Bowl contender talks or not. But as of right now, I want to say yes. I want to say yes that they are Super Bowl contenders just because they are have an easy schedule for the rest of the way. Like at most, they have like one loss coming into this end of the season, and if they get on that hot streak going into the playoffs, Lamar stays healthy and Lamar is playing the way Lamar plays, and if this defense keeps playing like this, I think we're headed for a Buffalo Bills and Ravens AFC Championship. Like that's literally how I see it ending, because like there's nobody besides the Chiefs that can beat. There's nobody
Yeah.
besides the Chiefs that can actually beat the Ravens or the Bills, in my opinion. Like I know the Broncos are there, and the Patriots are there, and yeah, but in the playoffs, I just see the Buffalo and Ravens being the best as of right now. I really just see it, especially with the defense of the Ravens playing. And if the defense would have never stood up how they've been playing recently, I would have been like, you know what? They're not Super Bowl contenders. Like they'll make the playoffs and be one and out. But now they're holding teams under 15 points. Like they're going out there and they're playing really great football right now on the defensive side. And Lamar is gonna score points. And besides this last game, when Lamar starts at quarterback, the Ravens are averaging 30 points per game this season. So the only teams that beat them are going to be the teams that can outscore them and put over 30. And with the way the defense has been playing, they're not giving up 30 anymore. So that's the one thing that's scary about them. I think the Ravens are the scariest team, but not the best team in the NFL, but the scariest team. The team you're like, damn, if they make the playoffs, we don't want to play them. And that's the Ravens right now. Like, really. Like, and the craziest thing is that the top three quarterbacks in the league right now, too: Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes. Top three quarterbacks. And then you can put Joe Burrow. Personally, I think Joe Burrow is the top three quarterback, but he's not healthy right now, so we can't put him there. Like those are the top three quarterbacks in the NFL. All three of them are not leading their divisions right now. So this season is wide open going to the playoffs towards the end, because it's kind of crazy to have Josh Allen second in his division, Lamar second in his division, um, Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes third in his division at the moment. So it's wide open. So that's the only reason why I say yes, they are Super Bowl contenders, because how wide open it is. If the Bills were dominating and the Chiefs are dominating how they usually do, and the Patriots look good, but I'm a big Drake May fan, but I don't know if he's going to be able to go into the playoffs his first time and lead them down the whole great playoff run. So that's the only reason why I'm saying yeah, I do believe the Ravens are Super Bowl contender, just because I feel like it's right time, right moment for them to actually get there.
Give me 2 seconds. Actually, I have to answer this.
Okay. Yeah. So guys, like I said, I do believe they are at least Super Bowl contenders. And I yeah, like there's nothing really much else for me to say besides that, just because they've been playing really good football. So I kind of expect them to be that good. But let's get right into our next topic. When Heads comes in here, he can hop on this next topic. Jackson Dart is on a concussion protocol again. He left the game last game, and this is the third time I believe. I'm gonna double check. Yeah, he this is his third or fourth time being in concussion protocol with Jackson Dart. So the question for this one is it time for Jackson Dart to actually change his style of play? For sure it is. It's for sure time for him to change his time of play because you can't have a quarterback that plays like that, that just runs head on at everybody. And did you get? No, I'll repeat the question for you heads right now after I'm finished saying this. But yeah, you can't
Yeah,
have a quarterback running head on with everybody. He is very young. Fourth concussion so far, being in concussion protocols. He left the game last time, and it is for sure time for him to change it up because you can't be that young of a quarterback and playing like your name is Scatterboo. You can't just be running into these guys, dude. Get down and slide, run out of bounds. If you don't know how to slide, just drop down. It's all you can do because he's way too young to be hurting himself like this. And the same thing for Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, look what happened to him. He's hurt as well. Lamar had the same
yeah,
problem when he was younger. Lamar didn't know how to get down or just try to juke everybody out. And you realize you're not as fast and strong as these guys are in the NFL as you were in college. So for Jackson Dart, it's for sure time to change his style of play just because like he's so young and he can't be running into these guys and thinking he's stronger and all that stuff. Now he's like I said, the fourth concussion, and running is a part of his game. The one thing about Jackson Dart is if he doesn't run, we don't get Jackson Dart because Jackson Dart, that's what he is. He's a highlight reel. He throws the ball very good. He has a very strong arm, but he likes to run the ball as well. He likes to when he lets get out of the pocket, he likes to scramble down the field, but he needs to get down, and that's the only reason why I say change the style of play. Changing the style is what I mean by that is stop running head on to these people and accepting a hit. Get down or get out of bounds instead of because he'll get 5 or 6 yards, but no, he wants 7 or 8, so he's gonna bump into them and get 7 or 8. Who cares about the extra 2 yards, dude? It's not the playoffs. It's not the Super Bowl where you need the extra yard. I understand it if it's a game where it's 2 minutes, 2 minute drill. It's fourth and 3, and you need to get that extra yard to get the fourth down. Okay, at that point, I understand it. But when it's a regular second quarter play, why are you trying to get the extra yards? Like, there's no point of that. After you just got 15 or 16 yards running down the field, why do you need 17 or 18 to go and run into this DB or run into this safety that's going to hit you very hard? There's no point in that. So he needs to change his
yeah.
style for sure. And he needs to get down and learn how to slide. And I'm pretty sure you got the gist of what the question was. It was like the Jackson Dart with his fourth concussion. Does he need to change his style of play?
Yeah, he most definitely does, man. We've talked about this many of times before. Is that like he really needs to stop doing like what him and what Scatterboo just out here just each other all the freaking time, man. And clearly, like he just thinks that he could just tackle on whoever, like, yeah, I might have the biggest heart on this team, but like, what's gonna stop me from getting these first downs? And like,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just doing what a real elite quarterback would do and just, take the extra yardage, rather if you're a yard or just an inch short and just go out of bounds, he's literally trying to gain more contact or even when he's just going when the play design is strictly for him just to go get that first down really quick right up the middle. He doesn't know how to embrace contact in that way. So
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, he definitely needs to just switch it up more. He when he does get back healthy again, as we've seen in other games too. Like he's more dominant when obviously if the offensive line can give him more time, but if he could just be that he could just be in that pocket presence, then it makes everybody's job a little bit better. And you know, he's just gonna have to take a hard lesson at that. Like yeah, you already lost your buddy that's out for the season because of for similar reasons. Like you got to keep your body intact and healthy to sustain a longer season. So with him, he just really has to take a lesson because it's not even just him. Obviously, I know he's been paying attention to all the other quarterbacks in the league that's been out for a while or just started to have a major injury. And yeah, man, like he's a really great quarterback, but as he's not helping anybody if he can't be consistent because Now everybody's like looking like, man, now we're shuffling through all of our depth chart to figure out like, yeah, who's gonna actually stay in this game and actually win this football game. So yeah, I feel like Jackson Dart really needs to learn how to just protect himself more down the road. But on a more positive side, it's time.
It's like we're ready to see Jameis come out of there. I swear it is. It's about to be Jameis time for at least the game, depending if Jackson Dart doesn't play or not. But yeah, we were both in agreement. He needs to get down. He needs to learn how to get down, learn how to slide, or just get out of bounds. Like there's no reason to do it. Tom Brady didn't know how to slide. But Tom Brady would run out there as slow as he was, and he just fall to the floor. Like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna fall. Like, what Cam Newton? I just heard Cam Newton say something this past week where Cam said there he didn't know how to slide. Cam said he didn't really learn how to slide that good because he's I'm a big guy, just like Jackson Dart's a big guy. He says
Yeah,
I don't really know how to slide. It's hard for me to get down. Cam said he learned how to fall with the hit. Like he's like
yeah,
when they go because one thing about Cam took some punishment, man. If any of those hits they used to hit Cam with back in the day was now, those players be suspended. They would be suspended right away because Cam took some nasty, nasty shots in his career and got right back up. That's a tough dude right there. But Cam said he learned how when he was running down the field and he says that they're coming at the defense is coming at him. He said he would learn how to get down. And when they try to hit, defenders, even though you're getting down, your defenders will try to hit you on the floor. That's what they would do. But he said he learned how to roll with it. He would learn like you go down, and when they're coming down to hit you in the front, he said he'll just roll and kind of embrace the hit as well instead of just going head on with them. He said at the end of the day, he said that's just kind of dumb to do. Like you shouldn't be playing like that because Cam said his coach. I can't remember his coach. Was it Ron Rivera? I think Ron Rivera was his coach. Maybe I'm mistaken. Can't remember who the coach was for Cam. But
yeah.
I think it
It
was
was Ron.
Ron. But Ron, he said that him and Ron had a conversation. Ron was like, "You're going to need to learn how to get down." He says because we want you in this league for at least 10 to 12 years, and if you're not getting down, you're only going to last like 4 or 5. So that's where
Yeah,
Cam actually learned how to start getting down and stuff. But it didn't on it for Cam's side. It didn't even help him. They were still hitting him with that even when he was getting down. And with all the new rule changes where it's fixed for the quarterback to not get hurt. That's like all the rules are made for the quarterback not to get hurt now. So all you got to do is get down, and defender's going to pull back and not try not to hit you. Like that's just all you got to do. You remember when they had to make this rule too, because Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen were doing this. Like they would run and then they fake a slide, and the defender would let up and they keep take off running. Like that,
yeah,
it's because the defender doesn't want to get a penalty, so he stops. But they made that a rule now where you can't fake a slide no more. That's a penalty now. You can't do that anymore. So with all the new rule changes, he needs to learn how to get down. Like he really does because that's gonna make his career go longer.
yeah. Definitely. I mean, hell, it only took early in his career. It only took Brady one time to learn his lesson. I forgot which season it was. I think it was like oh oh 07, oh 08 or something, and it was against the Buffalo Bills, and he was about to go out of bounds, but dude just gets trucked. I think it was by like Milroy or something, the safety, and he got smacked. Like helmet came off, everything, but like
Mm-hmm.
thank God he didn't have a major injury, but he got right back up, and ever since for the rest of his career, he just knew exactly when to just go down, man. So they really need to, especially Jackson Dart, he really needs to learn how to protect himself more because he clearly can, he has the potential to be a leader of a team, man. So I just I just wish that he actually just learned sooner than later than having to pay the consequences the hard way. I mean, 4 concussions, man. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's
And
not
as a rookie.
as a rookie at that. So man, that's a lot of damage already and wear and tear to your bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't even come back after 2 concussions. So the fact you have 4, it's
I
like,
don't
yeah, man.
see. I don't know. I had to reread the report. I don't know if he's actually had 4 concussions, but I know he's been in concussion protocol where they took him back to the tent and tested him 4 different times this season. So who knows if he's even had one yet? Or I think he has one now. I think that's what they're talking about. I think he has a concussion right now, but at least the protocol wise, he's been in it 4 times, and that's just not sustainable at all.
Mm-mm. And I've noticed too. Similar, kind of like how the Geno situation where was when they lost that terrible game against the Broncos, the previous Thursday night game, where clearly this dude was just limping for like a quarter and a half, and
Hmm.
every time he goes back to the tent, and instead of just giving him a little rest or at least a drive off and give it to Kenny Pickett, they're just like, oh, he's like, "Oh, we're already back on offense. Okay, I'm gonna just limp myself back onto the field, regardless if we win or lose." And it's like,
Hmm.
dude, like if you're hurt, you're hurt. But it's the
Yeah.
same thing with the Giants. Like there's been a couple times where I forget which game it was. It was like a few games ago or 2 games ago, where clearly you can tell, like, yeah, your bell's rung, dude. You got to go get checked out. Go under a tent for a little bit. Like you can come back in the game later. Just make sure that they're diagnosing you like you're still good to go. Or get on a bike, go do something. But there's been times where he's literally rushing himself to come out of the tent and be like, "Okay, am I good?" Or, "Well, let's just figure it out later." And next thing you know, he gets his bell rung again, and I'm like, "Bro, like you're really gonna give yourself like permanent brain damage if you just
Hmm.
don't just chill for a second." And when you are, and then again, and when it translates onto the field, it's like, bro, like you clearly are playing like you're not hurt, so you're not gonna last that long. And it's unfortunate that he lost his best rookie running back, but that wasn't a lesson for you already. It's like both of you guys could be both out right now, but you're very blessed to even still being looked at as a starter. So, like I said, it's time.
Man, what's it called? One thing I was gonna say is that he has the best teacher too. That's right
Yeah.
behind him on the quarterback position. The best teacher he could have for running down the field and getting down is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson
Hmm.
is probably
Yeah.
the best player of all time, like hands down, best player of all time at running out of the pocket, getting his yards, and getting down. Russell will take off, and if he even had a blip of a defender, he's sliding. Like
Hmm.
he's down. And so that's he has the best teacher there. Like Russell is perfect. Russell like basically made that cool, like running down the field and sliding. You're getting right back up. So
Yeah.
he needs to go out there and learn from Russell Wilson, or like maybe Russell don't even want to teach him or not. But I don't know what's going on in there now. You need to learn. I want to say Russell Wilson don't want to teach him. Russell Wilson's a nice guy. He will teach you. Like he's like down to teach you. So he needs to listen to Russell Wilson, listen to his coaches, and change up the play style for sure. But now talking about listen to his coaches, he doesn't have a coach anymore. Brian Daboll was fired, ex-coach of the year. This man won coach of the year. I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, and now he's out of a job. What you think, Hez? It's a good decision that he's gone, or a bad decision they fired him?
Well, according to like the reports after the fact that he has been let go, they were literally saying that like apparently it was a lot intense on the sideline. Like I guess the last game before they told him that he was gone is that he was threatening the coordinator to being like, "Yo, I'm about to relieve you off your duties. I'm gonna make sure you get fired," or something of that context. But he was really going at it with just you know um, not getting along with the other coaches. On top of that, we've already
Hmm.
seen early in the season too, where even before Malik Neighbors went down, and players like him and everybody else, they weren't getting along. They're literally arguing with him, and it's early in the game. It's like before halftime.
Hmm.
So it was. I didn't expect it to happen so soon, but then it wasn't a secret as well that not everybody was taking a liking of how he was standing for that team for the most part. And then there's been times too when they could have easily came back, or even when they blew that game against Denver, it was like, yo, if you would just had a better play calling system at hand, you guys could have win a couple more games. But you can tell that it really starts from him from the inside out with the team culture and the chemistry. So it seems like everybody else, when they're not listening to him and they're just out there winging it, they're playing better football. But the
Hmm.
minute that he's always trying to implement and incorporate these things, then it's like everybody's just kind of scratching their head, like, okay, what does he really expect? And then he still gets mad at everybody else because they're not converting or they're not doing what he asks of them. And it's like, dude, and it's crazy because yeah, like you just said, he was just the coach of the year not that long ago. But now it's like, yeah, the way that the league is now, and what it takes to win in this very moment, is if you're not going to be that guy that's going to be sustainable and consistent as rallying your troops to actually still stay together, then yeah, you're just going to get the boot. And clearly the Giants organization just wasn't having it anymore. Especially, it's one thing to get into it with your players, because eventually that's just kind of builds character within on both sides. But if you're getting into it with just pretty much everybody, like the coaching staff and everybody else, you're literally having everybody not trust you anymore. So um yeah, it sucks for Jackson, but for the most part, I don't think everybody else really cares that much. They're just kind of like, yeah, maybe we could start actually winning, and we're gonna be in a better position moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was the right decision to do. Like, one, first off, you need a different culture there. Like he has been a coach since before he's been Saquon and Daniel Jones is there. Now he has a whole different team, and I think it's kind of time. It was time for them to move on. I knew he was going to be gone after the last game. Like, when first of all they went out there and lost the game. Second, he draws up a designed run for Jackson Dart, and then Jackson Dart gets a concussion and he's out. When everyone's already saying that Jackson Dart needs to stop running the ball so much, Jackson Dart needs to learn how to get down and stuff. Then he calls a designed run for Jackson Dart, and then he gets the bell rung, and then he gets knocked out and he has a concussion now. As
Yeah,
soon as that happened, I was like, "Oh, Dayball's gone." I was like, "He's gone." I was like, "There's no way they're keeping him after this because now he's putting your franchise quarterback in jeopardy. A guy that you just drafted, he's putting him in jeopardy now." So I would, like you said, that he wasn't getting along with the coaches. He wasn't getting along with the players. He's putting his rookie quarterback in harm's way. So I thought it was just time for him to go. I don't like at best. What I think I can say is Brian Daboll is the epitome of, it happens a lot in the NFL, of a offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator that gets a job and they're not a head coach. Like, you're a coordinator, that's what you're good at. But then you got a head coaching job because now it's all on you. You're not just calling one side of the ball. Now you're calling both sides of the ball, and you have to watch out for your coordinators. And there's a lot more to do it besides being a head coach. Now you have to rally your troops. Now you got to do a lot of different things and just call plays because there's a lot more on you now. So he's the perfect example of that, where he was a good coordinator, but now as a coach, he was just not it. Like, he had one good season as a coach, and besides that, I think his record was like 15-30 as a head coach
mm,
in his career. So yeah, I thought it was the right time as well. And before we move on, because I don't really have much to say about that, like besides it was a good time, I'm gonna say that the two people I think that should get the job, that I think they should look at for New York is Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy should get a look at being the head coach of the Giants and going over to Jackson Dart. I think Mike McCarthy can come out there and run the ball and have some good plays for them. The other guy, which I believe he's the best person for the job, but with the scandal he had with the racist remarks he made and the reason why he's out of the league, even after a lot of players have vouched for him, a lot of coaches have vouched for him, and they said that he's not really like that as a person. But hey, you can't change those text messages you sent. But the one person that I think that is good for the job is John Gruden. I think John Gruden would be perfect for this job, honestly. Like, I know that NFL probably won't want to bring him back, and especially they probably think it's way too early to bring him back, is what the remarks he made. But as just a head coach, I think he'd fit perfect with this defense. And with a young quarterback that can run the ball, I think John Gruden would work wonders with this Giants team. Like, going back to that Tampa Bay team where he went out there and coached the great defense with the young quarterback and that can move around. I think John Gruden can come out there and have a great game plan. Personally, when he was the Raiders coach, I was the guy that was saying he might lead the Raiders to the promised land again. I was like, he might actually do it, because then everything kind of went bad for him. First off, without his personal issues with him, everybody knows what he said in those text messages, the racist remarks he said in those text messages and stuff. But besides that, like, he had Ruggs go out there and end up going to jail. He had a lot of first round picks that he drafted that those were supposed to be superstars, and then they're not in the league anymore. There was like three of them. I know Ruggs is the most famous one with the whole car accident and stuff. Um, but Yeah, I think the two perfect fits is probably the most likely Mike McCarthy's the spot. This Mike McCarthy's going to get the job, but I think John Gruden, if the NFL can, what's it called, what forgive him because he's came out and said apologized many times. He's had like I said, he's had many people, coaches, players come out and vouch for him and stuff. But it just depends if the NFL wants to take a chance on him again. But I think John Gruden would be perfect for the job.
Yeah, you know, he would definitely be that missing link that the coach that the that organization would need to take their players into the next level. Um, it's just very unfortunate through the circumstances of everything that has happened, since the days when he was with the Raiders and, the personal remarks that everybody eventually got to see. But, it doesn't take it away from how much he actually is a big factor to a lot of teams when he is, on board and actually stays with one team, as we've seen
Hmm.
in many years ago with, with my Bucks and he's that coach, they call him Chucky because it's like, dude, he's crazy, but he's crazy of knowing how to win,
Hmm.
so John Gruden is to anybody will be lucky to even have him there if it was the right time. So, and yeah, but also Mike McCarthy too. I feel like he's been out for a little while and he's looking to kind of rejuvenate himself back into the coaching mix, and he's not a bad coach. It's just being kind of pretty much a yes man to JJ down in Dallas wasn't going to eventually work out at some point. So I would definitely say he would be a good fit for them. Or Coach Boone from Remember the Titans.
Or Coach Boo remember the Titans. Hey man, you bring Coach Boone in there, he'll go out there and lead them to the Super Bowl, I swear. But
Yeah.
I think
We'll
one
kill
last
him,
thing.
Petey.
But leading into the next topic right before, I just want to say because we're talking right now, we're talking about coaches that got fired. Mike Daboll, the one coach I really thought was going to get fired, but I guess it's because he's such a good coach and such a good locker room guy. I thought Dan Quinn was gone. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Quinn was going to be gone after Jaden Daniels went down like that. Now Jaden Daniels' whole arm just snapped, like it was nasty. But same thing with him too, man. First off, why was he in the game? He shouldn't have been in the game down
Right.
that far down to the end. Like he shouldn't for him. Like it kind of reminds me of the Derrick Rose injury. Like he shouldn't have been in the game. Why is he even out there? And they're down so many points. You're not going to make a comeback. There's like 5 minutes left on the clock. Put in Marcus Mariota and have him go. And then the one thing, the reason why I thought he'd be fired, he drawed a designed run for Jaden Daniels in that position, knowing he just came back off an injury, and then you go and put him in that situation when he shouldn't even be in the game. Like, oh man, like I if Dan Quinn wasn't such a good coach and a good locker room guy because everyone loves him, he would have been fired. Like that's a fireable offense right there. Like Jane Daniels is a what is it? What is a world talent, like a top candidate for he could be an MVP in the future, and you're gonna go and do that to him? Like that just so wrong, so wrong. I was surprised Quinn did not get fired for that.
Yeah. Um, I feel like if it was any other coach, they would have definitely been on a hot seat to as soon as the game is over. Like, no, dude, there's no way you
Hmm.
possibly could design that for your quarterback who's just now coming back and just trying to get his feet wet again. But it's Dan Quinn. Everybody knows how much he's um, a big likable guy in that locker room. Of how much he's uh, very much defense first for most part, and
Hmm.
then offensively he just kind of works with what pretty much what he has. So, and it's not like on paper, like it's not like it's a bunch of bums. Like you got Debo out there, you got Terry McLaurin, you got kind of like some dogs out there, but they just either haven't been healthy or they haven't been staying long enough to really be in sync like that when it really matters. So, you know, like the pieces are there, but it's just haven't obviously been favored in his way. But back to that specific play, man, like yeah, any other coach, they would have been out of there. But
Hmm.
it's them, and I know Washington doesn't want to go through that whole coaching change right at this very moment. But yeah, I understand it, but at the same time, it's like, dude, like, what were you thinking? Like, what did you really think was gonna happen? You guys are pretty much on the verge of losing the game anyway, but you're gonna risk JD going out there and doing that. Granted, nobody knows it's gonna be that severe, but it's like, man, the dude needs to. And that's another thing. Like, we were saying him like. As for JD, he needs to bulk up, man. He's out here looking like the cinnamon from Applejacks. Like,
Yeah.
you really gotta put some meat on you, no pun intended, just to, you know, get your body right, and you want the first it was the leg injuries. Now you're thank God it wasn't his throwing arm, but still, it's just as bad. Like now you're really gonna be banged up coming back, and hoping that you guys can actually, keep up in that division and make a run. So yeah, it's a tough situation for them, man, and it's I believe I said it the last few episodes before we took a break. I'm like, and that's the thing with Washington's team. It's like they win one game and it's like, oh, okay, they might be trending upwards. They lose the next game, then it's like, okay, like you guys pretty much beat yourselves. But moving forward, the coach really has to do a better job of protecting his players and designing these plays to actually being like, okay, actually go up top, or to play action and just get these yardage and just move up and down the field. Stop relying so much of on JD or somebody to kind of make a play out of nowhere, or just like, yeah, go and run for it and see what happens. It's like, yeah, it's you just got to keep going, man.
See, this was bro's arm right here. That's it. No, that's exactly that is what happened with his little arm right there. Like we've been saying, man, he needs to gain some weight. He really does need to gain some weight because that's how easy it is for his arm to break with how skinny he is. Like he is so skinny. Like it's not sustainable. Like it's not like he can't be like I think they said he's 185 pounds. Bro's my weight. You can't be my weight out there playing quarterback and running around the field with guys that are over 250, 260. Like you can't
Looks
do
like
that.
140.
Yeah, he looks 140. Yeah, he looks very small. His ankles are like my are like this, like are like my wrist. Like his ankles are so small. But yeah, we'll get back to Jaden Daniels. Hopefully, he comes back healthy because, like I said, he is a great talent. I love watching Jaden Daniels play. I really do. Like
Yeah,
he's a great talent, but as he needs to gain some weight, and Dan Quinn needs to stop calling designed runs for him at the end of games like that. Like that's not sustainable either. So now we'll get into the next topic. The next topic is the Eagles on Monday Night Football beat the Green Bay Packers in the game of the week, probably the most exciting games I've ever watched in my life. The game ended 10-7. A lot of great scoring in that game, 10-7. So yeah, guys, you know I'm being sarcastic right now. That game was boring. One of the boring. I was on the phone with Hez while the game was on because I wasn't even really watching the game anymore because it was so boring. But yeah, 10-7, they won the game. Packers could only score one touchdown the whole entire game. They scored it in the fourth quarter. Um, Eagles didn't have a great offensive game either, but I want to more focus on the Packers with this question because the Eagles, I feel like we talk a lot about the Eagles a lot. I just want to, for this conversation, I want to focus on the Packers. 7 points.
you go first on this one.
Yeah. 7 points they gave up. Um, 7 points they scored, I should say. The one thing I want to say for this one is it more on Jordan Love or is it on Matt LaFleur? Personally, I'm gonna say it's on Jordan Love, just because I think Matt Lafleur is a very good coach. I think he's shown many times a good coach. He has a good run game. He has a good defense. He draws up schemes very well. But Jordan Love is probably the most flip floppy player I've seen in a very long time. Where one week I'll watch him, or actually, I should say like 3 weeks I'll watch him in a row, 3 weeks straight. I'll be like, oh, this guy's a top 10 quarterback, top five quarterback. Already, this guy's on his way up there. Then he'll have that one start, like he just had the other day against the Eagles, where he just could not get anything right. He scored one touchdown, did everything bad, and I'm like, this guy might not even be top 15. Like he looks like he's like 18th, 19th best quarterback in the league sometimes, and it goes up and down all the time. Like I can't really get a read on Jordan Love because I think I said at the beginning of the year I was like Jordan Love, this is gonna be his season for him to have that breakout season. He's gonna come out there. I thought he was gonna have a great one. And he was having a
Yeah.
good season. And then it's like he has those games or 2 games in a row where he looks like very bad. And now I hope going into the playoffs he can fix it around. But to answer the question, it's on Jordan Love because he needs to be consistent, and you can't blame consistency on how good a quarterback plays on the coach. That's not on the coach. Like all the coach can do is call the plays and write the schemes up, and it's up to you to execute. And I know they played against the Eagles defense, where Eagles defense just got better with the trades. I mean, yeah, with the trades they made at the deadline, and the Eagles defense is legit, but still 7 points is 7 points. Like all you had to do, all you had to do was score one more touchdown and you win that game. All you had to
Right.
do, you had 2 chances at it at your team to at least the 50 yard 45-yard line, and you have one of the best kickers in the game that knocks down 60-yard field goals. You could have just lead him right there and he would have knocked in the field goal, but you couldn't even get him past the 50. You got him to the 55, then he kicks a field goal that's just way too short because you didn't get him to his spot. Like, so it's on Jordan Love because he needs to be more consistent.
In the words of my uncle, right now is not him. You know, and he looked like he doesn't even know at the end of the day. Like if you're only gonna put up that against really anybody, then everybody's gonna look at you and be like, "Well, what are you
Mhm.
not doing right?" You know, if you have to do it yourself and put it all out there, but he just doesn't look like the same Jordan Love as coming into the season that we're like, yeah, like he can be a top 10 quarterback when he wants to be. But as of right now, I'm like, I don't know what's gonna get through it. I don't know if he's just distracted or he's just nervous out there. But yeah, Jay Love, man, it's not really he didn't really do his best against the team of the city of brotherly love.
Yeah, he needs to be like I said in the beginning of the year that if Jordan Love could just be a top 10 quarterback, just be top 10 quarterback, they win a Super Bowl. They would have a chance to win a
Yeah,
Super Bowl if he would just play like a top 10 quarterback. But like I said, like there's weeks that he looks top 10. There's weeks that he looks bottom 15. Like he looks like the 18th, 20th best quarterback. He looks like sometimes he looks like he's on that Kirk Cousins level of a quarterback, and sometimes he goes out there and he looks like he's as good as Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield. It looks like he's just like them, but then the weeks he comes out there and looks like Michael Penix. Like I don't know how to call Jordan Love right now. Like I like him a lot. I think he's a very good talent, but the consistency is up and down. And I can't, like I said, the question for on Jordan Love and or Matt LaFleur, you can't blame that on the coach. You can't
no,
put that on the coach at all when a player is not consistent, like at all. Like it's like in basketball, you make shots or you miss shots. The coach does not control if you make or miss open shots. He draws the play to get you open, and if you miss it, that is not on the coach. So yeah,
right.
so yeah, that's really all I had to say on that one. We both agree that it's Jordan Love. Now for the topic that I have been waiting for to talk about, it's going to be
It's
the
more like
last
Jordan
topic.
Lust.
What was that? Jordan
It's like
Lust.
more
Like,
like
what does
Jordan Lust.
Chris Broussard say on First Things First? He calls him J Lo. When he does bad, he says J No. That's what he. That's what he. That's what he's saying. But yeah, going to our last topic of the day, the topic I've been waiting to talk about right before we get into our top 5 MVPs, the top 5 football teams, then we'll talk about some Thursday night football. The game it starts in about an hour. Um, is the Rams and the Seahawks play this weekend? The battle of NFC West. Two top teams, two arguably the top teams in the NFL. They're both playing really good. The only 2 teams in the NFL that are ranked top 5 in offense and top 5 in defense. Both these 2 teams are killing it so far. I'm gonna lead this one off because it's my team. My team is in it, so I'll lead it off. And the question is this the game of the year? Yes, this is the game of the year. This is the game that's going to tell us so much going to this playoffs. The main reason why, not even on a just a Ram side of things, because if the Rams win this game, we're about to be the number one seed. We're about to be the number one seed going to go. I swear, if we just beat the Seahawks, we'll be the number one. And then we got the Lions too coming up. But in my opinion, if we can beat the Seahawks, we can beat the Lions. So if we beat the Seahawks this week, we are tailor made to be the number one seed. But the one thing I will say is more on the Seahawks side where if they win this game, the whole NFL needs to be on notice because nobody wants to go into Seattle to play a playoff game. That 12th man is real. That crowd is wild out there. They're the best crowd in the NFL. And when they call it the 12th man, they really mean it. It's like having a 12th man out there with that team. So if the Seahawks
Yeah.
win this game, damn near every playoff game on the NFC side is going to be played in Seattle as long as they're there. And I don't know if anybody could beat them in Seattle. Like I think we're playing them in LA this week. So we'll give you our predictions, guys, on Saturday. We'll be back on here most likely on Saturday. And what was that? What'd you do?
I said, no, I said, except for us, we can beat
Yeah,
them in Seattle.
he said so for us. Yeah, we could beat them in Seattle. So yeah, like I said, if this game was in Seattle this weekend, I'd probably be telling you as a Rams fan, I'm scared. I would be like, oh man, I don't know if like it's in Seattle. But now it's in LA. I'll give you my prediction on the game on Saturday when we come back on Saturday. I'm pretty sure we might be free on Saturday to come back on here and do it again. We'll give you guys our full predictions, and then we'll talk about the game. We'll give you our full predictions on it. But yeah, for sure. To answer the question, it's game of the year because everything means about this. I'm gonna be glued to my TV watching that whole entire game, not missing one snap because this is the one game. It's make or break for the Rams. Like if the Rams right now, I just want to say this. I want to take my little victory lap, my little victory bow, because at the beginning of the year, the Rams were a plus 1,800, the seventh best odds or eighth best odds to win the Super Bowl. I said I thought the Rams were the best team in the NFC. I think you almost agreed with me when you both were like the Rams and the Buccaneers. So we'll both take a little bow. Is now the Rams are the favorite to win a Super Bowl this year. We are the favorites. We're number one. Everyone's thinking we'll have a chance to win it. So I'm like, oh yeah, now we're the favorite. But if we lose this game, we ain't the favorite no more. So we need to make sure we beat Seattle, especially in LA. So yeah, game of the year this Sunday, Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, this is definitely the most important game of the year, especially in that conference in the NFC. Um, See, it really tells the tale who's really gonna have success moving on for the rest of the season. You know, this is a very much an important matchup for the division, and it's really an important game for both teams, man. The Rams, they're already doing really well so far. If they can just knock out the Seahawks, then easily they could be in control of the NFC West. And the same thing with the Seahawks. They've been relatively playing really well as of recently against really everybody.
Yeah, this is for sure going to be a Matthew Stafford game on the Rams side because that Seahawks defense from the running game is the best running game defense in the league. Like they stop everybody that runs the ball. They stop them. The top three defenses in the league, as in like running game wise, is number one Seattle. Then this is not even numbers. I don't look at the numbers. I go by my eye test when I watch who's the best running defenses in the league. Number one Seattle. Number two, I give it to Houston. And then number three is the Denver Broncos. Like those three teams are the best running defenses in the league. Passing defense, though, the Rams are top three passing defense. Like we have DBs out there. We just got a new DB. We rush the passer very well. We're always in your face. So with Byron Young and Fisk and JD Verse, like or JD, yeah, Jared Verse. Yeah, we're just out there all the time getting in your face as a pass as a quarterback. So Sam Darnold might be on a
Yeah.
run a little bit this game. So yeah, game of the year. I'm very excited for it because this is gonna tell so much of it. This game is gonna be like, to me, it's going to be like the game that Sam Darnold had last year, but when he played against the Lions in the last game of the year against for the division, and he went out there and had a horrible, horrible game. And now this is almost the same exact thing. This game might tell the division for the rest of the year. So we'll see how Sam Darnold wakes up for this one. So yeah, we're both in agreement. Game of the year. Is there anything else you want to say about this game?
No, just very much looking forward to it, and hopefully, I can honestly say that it's probably going to be a quite of a neck and neck game, just because of how much both teams are really eager to win this game. And um, you know, to your point, like if it was in Seattle, I'd have been like, okay, this is going to be really tough for the Rams. But the fact that they're
Yeah.
coming to the land to SoFi, it's it's gonna be just as intense, because Rams fans in general they're gonna root for their teams, especially against division rivals. But yeah, man, I'm definitely gonna be rooting for the Rams on this one.
Yeah, we have to win this game. We really have to win this game. So now, guys, that was it for all of our NFL topics. Right before we get out of here, we have three more things to talk about. We're gonna get into our top three MVP candidates, our top five teams of the NFL going into this week, and then our Thursday night football prediction. That's game, like I said, the game about to start in an hour. So right now we'll just do our top three MVP candidates of the year so far. Heads, I'm gonna let you lead this one off with your top three MVP candidates, and then I'll lead the top five teams off in the NFL. Starting from three to one, who are your top three MVP candidates this year in the NFL?
At number three, just because he's just arguably like one of my favorite running backs right now. He's just been killing it. But I'm gonna have Jonathan Taylor, man.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a quarterback made award, but he's making a huge statement right now, and not because of the success that Indianapolis has been having, but he's the reason why he's my favorite back in the league. He's just so swift. He's so very fluid, and he has wheels. He has that field of vision, like almost like a old Marshall Falk, or somebody that
Mm-hmm.
was back in those days that just because next thing you know, you think you have him down. And next thing you know, he's just taking off. So he's been having some really good games so far. I'm hoping that he can sustain to be healthy for the rest of the season. But so far, like I feel like he's definitely earned my top right now in terms of make cracking that list or being top three of in the race.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I'm going to have to say Josh Allen, just because he has definitely I felt like he's starting to come back into himself, the type of player and the caliber that he can bring to the table, especially after that disappointing loss for them against the Patriots some weeks ago. But ever since, it seems like he's been doing okay. I mean, yeah, they lost. The Bucks got him this week, so I'm kind of a little bit nervous because I'm like, this might be back to back L's, but it just depends on who's healthy or not for us. But for the most part, I feel like just Josh Allen does deserve to be a top three candidate, just because we all seen what he has done in the past and what he is currently still doing. And at number one, believe it or not just saying because it's your team, but I actually made a big jump for him, and I want to say Matthew Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's been playing lights out, man. He's really um, he is definitely a person that is a winning quarterback, and just based off his decision making, how comfortable he feels back there in the pocket, and no matter who he's throwing to, if Puka's out there, or and Devontae's been a big help because he's been stepping up when he was absent. Um, he just knows how to be a leader on that team, and even just the play calling. Like it may be designed for one thing, but he can just look and being like, "No, no, no, we're gonna check this down." And he's making the most out of his opportunities. So, um, Yeah, like especially within this past couple of weeks, Matthew Stafford has definitely just jumped up there. Originally I was always having like um, it was either Josh Allen or Baker, but obviously he hasn't been playing 100%. Plus, we had the bye week on top of the other injuries. So we've been kind of struggling trying to get back into the mix in terms of trying to comfortably get up and down the field. But that's another thing too. If Baker comes out and has a good game and ultimately ends up winning against Buffalo somehow this week up in Buffalo, then he can crack that list of being top five again. But just for
Mhm.
right now, which saddens me, I had to leave him off the list at least for right now. And Matthew Stafford just kind of jumped up there. So yeah, that's pretty much my top MVP right now is your quarterback.
That's right. That's right. No, I'm happy to hear that. Matthew Stafford MVP. Sounds great. Uh,
You're like, yes, right.
Yeah. All beginning of the season, everyone's been telling me you got to be careful about his back, man. He's not going to have a good season. I told everybody. I messaged my friend Travis the other day. I said, are you ready to say that the back injury was false, like I said it was? Because I was telling everybody he doesn't have a back injury. They're just rested him. They put down the injury report just to get him some rest. Because, like I told you at the beginning of the season, you can't miss training camp without getting fined unless you're injured. So they went out there and said his back was hurt, so he can miss training camp because they wanted. I knew, who got me thinking that was Dan Orlovsky from ESPN. Dan Orlovsky
Mm,
is a great quarterback guy. He knows a lot about quarterbacks. He's a quarterback himself, not that good as a quarterback, but he was still a pro NFL quarterback. Him and Matthew Stafford are like this. They talk all the time. And he said, he says he's the one that said that. He says, "Oh, I don't think Matthew Stafford's really that hurt." And someone said, "Are you two giving us a breaking news here?" To Matthew Stafford tell you, he's like, "No, no, it's just something I think." I'm like, "Dan, you know damn well Matthew Stafford talking to you." So yeah, I knew that I was ready for this. So now my top three NFL top MVP candidates this year. Number three, we are going to go with Jonathan Taylor. I agree with Jonathan Taylor at the third spot. Jonathan Taylor is the reason why this Colts team is playing so well right now. This man is scoring touchdowns left and right. He's rushing over 100 yards in so many games. He just had a bad game recently, but hey, he was due for one eventually to have a bad game. But he is still killing it. This guy's having a great season overall. Like leading the league in rushing touchdowns. He's leading basically, like I said, he has 2 game-winning drives as a running back. I never seen a running back have 1 game-winning drive at the end of the game. Not long 2. So he has to be in the top three MVP candidates. I'm gonna go Jonathan Taylor. Number 2, I'm going to go with Drake May. I think Drake May is having an
yeah.
Drake May is having an Drake May is having an outstanding season. Second year. Usually people have sophomore slumps. He's having sophomore like I'm here now, bro. Like that's this dude is having a great year, leading the league in passing yards in his second year. This man has been throwing the ball left and right. He's thrown for at least 2 or 3 touchdowns in like 6 or 7 straight weeks. This guy is killing it. Like so, Drake May is my second on the MVP chart, and number one. You know what I have to go with? I have to go with Geno Smith. Like Geno Smith, I'm kidding. Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is the MVP number one right now. Matthew Stafford has thrown 4 touchdowns in about 3 straight games. He's had 4 touchdowns. Yeah, you can come back. It's not Geno Smith. It's Matthew Stafford. It's Matthew Stafford, not Geno Smith. Oh man, but yeah, it's Matthew Stafford. This guy, I saw a stat where Matthew Stafford has thrown 23 touchdowns in a row without an interception. That's crazy. Like this guy is absolutely killing it right now. Like I said too, just right now, he's thrown for 4 passing touchdowns in like 3 straight games, and didn't even have Puka for 2 of those. And it's just crazy how great Matthew Stafford is playing right now, and especially with the Rams going to this week, if they beat the Seahawks, he's for sure the number one top MVP candidate this week. So yeah, those are my top three. I think the only thing we had different was Josh Allen. You had Josh at 2. I personally had Josh at 3, and I had this is before last week. I had Josh at 3, and I had Jonathan Taylor at 4. But with Josh Allen going out there, he just had a bad game. He lost to the Miami Dolphins, and that was just a bad loss to the Miami Dolphins. I dropped him down a spot, so like he's at 4 now, and I put Jonathan Taylor above him. So that's the only thing we have different is besides that, like I have Drake May as number 2, but Yeah, the one thing right before we move on to our top five teams, I want to say one thing I also seen a stat that I seen since week 7. I think it's week 7 or week 6. It's one of either week 6 or week 7. I think it's week 7. The Seahawks. I know for sure since October 30th. I know that's what they said. October 30th. It's only 2 weeks ago. So it had what week are we going to week 11, right?
I believe
Yeah.
so.
So it's week 7. So it's about a month. In about a month, the Seahawks and the Rams have not taken one snap trailing in a game in 1 month. So since week 7, both teams have not took a snap in a game, losing a game yet. Since week 7, that's a crazy stat. It's gonna be broken this week, but that's something that's wild. But yeah, those are my top three MVP candidates. Anything else you want to say about the MVP candidates before we move on to our top five teams?
I actually had Drake May at 3, but I was just like, man, I gotta give some running back some love, man. Let's get Jonathan Taylor in there. Just because he's just somebody who's not a quarterback that's actually making a difference right now. And yeah, I was having a hard time. Just like, you know what? No disrespect to Drake, but I'm gonna just, you know, put him just right below just for this week. He might just jump right back up as soon as the matchup this Sunday, but we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah, I agree because I do believe that those four are easily top four. It just depends on what order you put them, but those four are the guys we're talking about. But there's only one guy at the top, and that's Matthew Stafford. It has to be Matthew Stafford. So now, get
Hmm.
into our top five teams of the NFL this year, guys. I'm gonna lead this one off. I'll start from five, and I'll go to number one. Like I said, the list goes up and down, so it's not the whole entire year. Just through 10 weeks, who are the top five teams? I'm winging it right now. I don't have I usually have like a list, but I'm winging it. I done right now. I'm trying to think of the teams right now. So at five, I am going to go with five. I'm gonna go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are at number five. I think some people will rank them higher, but I've had them down because their offense hasn't been looking that good. Scoring 10 points against the Packers. I mean, I guess the Packers have a good defense, but 10 points is 10 points. So I think the offense is kind of taking a step back. And with AJ Brown saying all that stuff, like, "Oh yeah, if you have me in fantasy, you drop me." Like with all that with. Like if I all that stuff going on, I just think it's gonna be too much for them. So I have him down. I mean I have the Eagles down to five because usually if there wasn't so much offensive drama, I would have them top three, but they have to be five for me because there's too much drama right now. So Eagles at
He
five.
said he's not apologizing either. He's like, I said what
Yeah,
I
it's
said.
all that. I I don't know what's going on with that guy, man. Is it just something with wide receivers and a last name Brown? I don't know what's going on, but I don't know it. But yeah, so five Eagles. Four, I am going to go with the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos are at four for me. I had them at three last time. I'm thinking I had them on three the past couple weeks that we were on here. But just their offense, man. Same thing as the Eagles. Their offense has not been clicking. They haven't been able to score points. They're lucky they have arguably the best defense in the league. Them and Houston, I think, arguably have the best defenses in the league right now. But it's like Bo Nix doesn't know how to be a top 15 quarterback until the last fourth quarter, and then he turns into a top 10 quarterback in the fourth quarter. But their offense just that's not sustainable either. Like that's why I can't put him at two or one or three because like you can't keep pulling games off at the end of the game and barely scoring any points and think that's sustainable to go out there and win. So they're right now I have to put them at four because they're doing so good and they're leading that division. They got the Chiefs this week though. That's another game that's really good. They have the Chiefs this week in Denver. Number three, I am going to go with the Detroit Lions. I think the Detroit Lions are a legit team. They had a bad loss, but they bounced back from it. And I think the Detroit Lions are a very good squad. The offense is really good. The defense is very good. Actually, I'm winging it right now. Sorry, guys. I am taking out the Detroit Lions out of my top five because personally, right now, I don't think they're better than the Denver Broncos or the Eagles. But there's one team at three. I think I said the wrong team. It popped in my head. Like, what are you doing? Seahawks at number three. Seahawks are the third best team in the NFL with how good they've been playing. Top five defense, top five offense in the league right now. Sam Darnold's been killing it. That defense has been doing amazing, at least since the past 4 weeks. Like I said, they haven't took a snap along with the Rams. They have not took a snap in a game the last 4 weeks, losing. Like they've been leading every single game. So it's kind of a crazy stat. And if a team's top five in defense, top five in offense, they have to be in your top five teams in the NFL this week. So number three, I'm gonna rock with the Seahawks. Number two, we're gonna go with the New England Patriots. New England Patriots are just playing really good right now with how good that defense is playing. Mike Vrabel's got that whole entire team playing great. Drake May is playing great. Drake May is making the reads he needs to. He's doing check downs when he needs to. He's going deep when he needs to. I saw there was a pass he ran out of the pocket and he looks at his receiver and just was like go this way, and the receiver just books it back the other way. He throws the ball right at the edge, catches it. I'm just like, bro, Drake May is making plays out here. So, and then Vrabel is turning this whole entire culture around. Like their defense is back. The New England Patriots defense is legit. Travion Henderson is starting to run the ball very good. He had over 100 yards last time, 2 touchdowns. So that whole entire team is clicking. They're very young and everything's going very well for them. So number two, I got the Patriots. And number one, guys, best team in the NFL is the Los Angeles Rams. They've been my best team in the NFL for 3 weeks now. They're still at number one until we lose a game. Maybe we lose this week. We'll see how the Seahawks game goes. But if we win again, we're still going to be at number one. We are the best team in the NFL, hands down. We have the bet. We arguably have a top 2 offense in the league. We have like a top 5 defense in the league. Matthew Stafford is the top of the MVP conversations right now. Kyron Williams is running the ball great. We have a great coach in McVay. Our defense is rushing the passer very well. Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua is a 1-2 punch out there, along with Tyler Higbee coming back now. And we have Tyler Higbee out there catching balls. So we're all around just a great team. So yeah, Rams number one. You know it. You know the deal.
Yeah, man. I believe it or not, I have the exact same order as you because I mean at this point going into this week, it's pretty obvious of the teams that are kind of standing out more than the others right now, especially, obviously Eagles are somehow being top 5, but other than that, it's like, yeah, Denver's starting to step up more than they were before. Um yeah, the Seahawks has definitely been making this statement for quite some weeks now. And, um the fact that the not only did I have Matthew Stafford as a runner for MVP, but just as a team, as a collective right now, they're just really doing everything from top to bottom in both sides of the ball. So, and that's why I'm also trying to root for y'all against Seattle. There's no shade for them, but it's just like, it's a game for the Rams to kind of be in like, okay, do y'all take us serious now? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's literally the list that I had as you, just because it's like, man, like, there's some couple honorable mention teams out there, um, like
Bills and Lions. Like those are the two
Bills.
teams that
Yeah, because I was like, okay, the Bills, I'm gonna just wait out a little bit. The Lions, I definitely they were gonna be my top 5, but I'm just like, I feel like rightfully so. There was just at least another team out there that was just rightfully so deserves a little spot right now. So yeah, I will have to totally agree with that, man. You know, as we said before, the the list varies every week. So one team might be dropped and one team might be coming back up, but a lot of teams. This is the most critical time in the season for a lot of teams right now that are fighting for not only playoff position, but making a run from having a rough start and actually coming up on a division. So it's going to be an interesting week.
I know a lot of people will probably say like, "Where's the Colts? Why is the Colts not in your top five?" It's because like I know that like this is not the standings. Like we don't come in here and put the standings out there. If you guys want the standings, go by the USA Today. Go on the website. They have the standings right there. You guys can check it out. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's not the standings. You know why? It's because I like this knowing football. Well, maybe I'll eat my words going into the playoffs, but the Eagles, the Bills, the Lions, the Rams, the Patriots, who else? The Broncos and the Rams. Hell, I'll even throw in the Chargers. All those teams I kind of believe in more than the Colts. Like I can't. I know the Colts are a good team, but I cannot put them in like above any of those teams. I really can't. Like Chargers and Colts are arguable. People can say, okay, they're better than the Chargers. Yeah, it's an argument. Who's better than the Chargers? Our Chargers have a lot of injuries right now, but besides that, easily can't put them over those other teams. Like those 17 I just named, the Bills and Lions in the top five. Like I can't put them over those teams. So a lot of people will be like, "Where's the Bills? I mean, where's the Colts?" But I can't do it. I really just can't do it. So yeah, you pretty much. I feel like you pretty much agree with that, right? Would you put the Colts over any of those teams?
Right now, no. I mean, granted, they haven't lost many games, but most of their schedule this year was, there's no offense to them, but they haven't really played too many teams up until the
Hmm.
last couple of, and then when they did, they end up losing. So it's like, well, they really just have to kind of stay consistent for the most part. And like I said, I'm kind of comparing it to kind of how the Steelers had their season back during COVID. It's like, yeah, you guys are practically damn near almost undefeated all season. Then when it comes down to the playoffs, like, are you really going to be a big dog out there? Can you really beat another a high-powered ranked AFC team? So
Hmm.
um, we're just really going to have to see. I can maybe a wild card team can knock off the Colts because they just caught them on a good day. So
Oh,
I don't know.
and I
It's
have the
not to
Ravens above
discredit.
them too.
Yeah, and the Ravens too, just because we all know what they can do, and they're starting to kind of get back into their A game, if you will. So it's not to discredit anything that they got going on down in Indy, but that defense can play pretty well, and offensively, they got, Mike Pittman out there, shout out USC, and, some other ball players. But it's like, man, clearly right now, or at least for some time now, the main topic of why the Colts has been really successful is because you have an MVP runner-up running back out there that's been pretty much carrying the team on his back, legitimately. So, um, yeah, that's pretty much why I wouldn't want to have them as a top five team right now. Is just because simply, they're not really making a strong case that they're beating a lot of very good teams right now. It's just kind of like, okay, those are gimme games. Or when you actually do play up against somebody that matches up against you guys can easily get exposed, or you guys gotta have a bad game and you can just drop down in rankings. So
Hmm.
um I feel like at this point, the only ones that are really kind of feeling disappointed about it is Colts fans, to be honest with you.
Yeah, should be honestly. Like Colts fans would be the ones like Jeff Saturday be sitting here looking like, where the hell are the Colts? But nah, I don't really think about it like that. Yeah, like we'll see, and we'll see it towards the end of the season. But right now, they're not on my top five. But now, last thing before we get out of here, guys, we're gonna talk about this Thursday night football game that starts here in about 30 minutes. We got the New York Jets, I believe. And I think I got it right. Did I got it right? Jets. The Jets playing. New York Jets going into Gillette Stadium and playing against the Patriots. We're going to see Drake May out there playing this Thursday night football game. I know it's a Thursday night football. At least we get to see Drake May. At least we get to see Drake May. That's a good thing. It might be a blowout,
Okay.
but we get to see Drake May. So like I feel like there's not that much to talk about in this game. I think we can just give our final score predictions because I think we both are going to be on the same exact side because the Jets are just not a good football team. So the Patriots are 12-point favorite. Let's talk about this way, and we'll give our final scores. Let's talk about it from a betting perspective. They're 12-point favorites tonight. The bookies have the Patriots expected to win by at least 12 points or more. Let me know. Do you think they cover that spread? And what's your final score?
I feel like they do. Um, Honestly, I just feel like they could have put We Are Marshall against the Patriots because it would have been a better matchup on paper. But um, yeah, I feel like they not only come out to win, but I feel like they do cover the spread because it's it's the Jets. Like I don't. It's not really much to say about it. I just don't really see too much of them actually doing anything, especially because you arguably just traded two of your best players per se. Like you get rid of Sauce. I mean, which kudos to him. Finally, he got out of that environment. and then you trade away Q Williams to Dallas, so it's like you definitely don't have any pressure up front. I can't even list the other guys who are playing DB that was playing on the other side of Sauce. So it's like I don't really know what to expect from the Jets, but not much. So I feel like the Patriots just gonna roll over on both sides from the betting perspective and from translating to on the field. So I don't know. I mean, I just feel like it's just gonna be a total domination. So I feel like it might just be like a I don't know 30. I'm gonna say 35, 35-7.
We were almost on the same exact score. Like, but we're close. Personally, I do think they covered the spread too. Like, I think that the Jets have given up their season. I think they're going to try to go and get a top pick in the draft, and they're not even going to really try the rest of the year. My final score, I was gonna say 34-10. I can see about 24-point victory for the Patriots. Personally, my bets for tonight are Drake May over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Travion Henderson and anytime touchdown, and Stephon Diggs and anytime touchdown. Like, those are my three bets that I'm on. My lock of the day play, which I don't get these for free, but no one's in the live right now. So if you're in the live, you got this play for free. But my lock of the day play was Drake May over 1.5 passing touchdowns and the Patriots to win. Like that was pretty much a very good play. I think Drake May goes out there and throws for about two or three. Travion maybe catches one of those. Diggs catches one of those, and they go out there and they roll. I think it's going to be a very easy game for them. And one thing I wanted to say too is after seeing all the times he got burned over the past couple weeks, we can't call him Sauce no more. It's Ahmad Garner.
My
It's a mod. That's what he is. He's a mod now. Yeah, we have to wait. We have to wait until he doesn't get burned over and over again because he ain't the sauce is gone at the moment. So we need to wait till we start calling him sauce again. So if he's Ahmad
I'm
Garner.
Ahmad Flores.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah. All right, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here and then go watch some Thursday night football?
I'm scared for the Buccaneers.
Oh yeah, man. You know why? You know why I'm more scared of about the Buccaneers this week? First of all, they're injured. That's the reason why they're injured. So I don't know if they're going to be able to hold it down. Number two, the Bills are coming off a loss to Miami, so this is a bounce back game for the Bills. Like, that's another reason why. Because if the Bills would have beat Miami and then coming into the Bucks, I'm like, okay, it might be a good matchup. But now the Bills have something to prove now because everyone's talking trash on them because they lost to Miami. This might be a bad game for the Buccaneers. The Bills are 3-point favorites. They're at home, and it's gonna be cold. It might be raining and snowing in Buffalo, so it's gonna be a Baker Mayfield or bust game. It's gonna be up to Baker to see if he pulls it off. Personally, I'm not gonna lie. I'll get my full prediction on Saturday, but I have to think about it a little bit more. But I kind of think the Bills might take it. Kind of think the Bills might take this game. Yeah, it's a bounce back. It's a bounce back game.
And yeah, it's obvious that like we have tons of injuries that just kick us in the ass every week. And the only positive side about it is that Irving's back at practice full time. Who's to
Hmm.
say that who's to say he's gonna suit up this week or not? And even then it just doesn't fix a lot of other things. We're still in and out um with Ben New England and at home. And it's almost hard to not feel like the faith is almost gone because it's like, yes, we're still leading. We're still probably maybe a top 10 team. We're definitely kind of leading a weak division, if you will, but it just kind of sucks right now type of deal because there's plenty of times too where people were arguing and saying against the recent matchup with the Patriots where Baker could have easily took off and got some yardage just by himself, even though there's been times where to work ball very well. He's not getting enough time in the pocket to see who's open, and if he is, the only reliable one is the rookie Ibuka,
Hmm.
and it's just like everything is kind of going downhill right now, and a lot of it has to do with injuries. And then the trade deadline just passed, and we were hoping that, like, man, Jason Leiter, our manager, that's like, hey, that we're a very homegrown team and it works out for the most part from drafting a lot of players and it works out for the best, such as, players like Vita Vea and a few others to mention. But I just felt like for once, this could we could have literally took advantage of this trade deadline and actually acquire somebody. I mean, and I've said it before, the main person I really or the main position that I wanted them to trade for is to upgrade simply the pass rushing because D line so much, even though uh we had these quarterbacks, like we have
Hmm.
together. I mean, I'm actually gonna say we're gonna take this L this week against Buck. Only get to the offense head, like, okay, we're gonna have to make it work of whoever we have on here because we're way too talented for that. But as for defense, it starts up with just the front seven, man. Like the pass rushing really needs to be addressed. So I feel like we really could have traded somebody out there on the market, or they're really willing to pay somebody. Then it's like been easily the a big difference maker for us just to hold at least get half of our people. And that he's doing 6 and 5 in a couple of weeks just because we didn't hard to not listen to the noise of that narrative of
I don't think they're frauds. I think they're just injured. The one thing I can say is if they can hold it down, win the division, and make the playoffs, and then everyone is healthy, I think they have a good shot to upset some teams in the playoffs. But just right now, it's going to be just up to they're going to have to hold it down and maybe get some shockers, get some shocker wins because as of right at the moment, it's when they got I know they got a tough schedule coming up. They got a tough schedule coming up, so they need to just try to hold it down and make sure they don't get too far down in the dumps and end up making this division closer. But if they win this division, and by the time comes playoffs come around, they might be a scary team when they're fully healthy.
yeah, man. Right now it's looking too good, and I just hate the fact that, like, obviously Baker lives up for those moments, obviously to come in and do an outstanding job and lead for keeping up a lead, but it just sucks, man. 'Cause I just generally feel bad for the dude because every week he doesn't really know of how much. Honestly, this is a part of our schedule where it's just going to get intense. We got the Bills. We just lost to the Patriots. We still got to play y'all.
And then
It's
Lions.
just, huh?
I think you guys play the Lions too, don't you guys?
No, we lost to the Lions on that
Oh, okay.
controversial Monday night,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
and that one other higher power teams. But yeah, we've already lost to the Lions and we lost to the Patriots. Now we got to play the Bills and eventually play y'all. So it's like, man, we can only just pray and hope that nobody else gets injured and that the offense just finds a way to get up and down the field because early in the game, at least the first half, it was looking it was for the most part and we were leading, but then we lost just folded, man. The defense just
Mhm.
looked lost out there. I mean, not to discredit Trey Hendrickson, but it's just like, come on, man. Like we shouldn't let him just be going off like that. Like he had a Jonathan Taylor game against us, and I'm just like, come on, man. Like, are we really made for those big moments? Are we really going to be stopping people when it comes down to it? Where they can, but obviously this is a very heavy blitzing Todd Bowles defense,
Yeah.
so it's just hard to watch sometimes. So the fact that they were basically giving up big holes like that in the running game, it just scares me. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect moving forward. All I could do is just kind of keep the faith and be hopeful.
Yeah, his injuries for sure derailed that team. Like, cause that team was looking great, and just with all the injuries, just like man, that's what happens in the NFL though. And teams injuries can shake everything up. Man, any sport, injuries can shake something up. So, but anything else has?
I'm out here taking my frustrations on. I'm taking my frustration on Madden. Like,
Yeah, yeah, I feel it. That's how I feel. That's how I feel after my favorite. That's how I feel after my favorite UFC fighter loses. I go and put it on UFC. Like, no, I'm getting it back for him. Start cracking this dude.
mm. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but I think that's all we have to talk about today. So we're gonna go watch some Thursday night football. I'm the Wager Zone. This is Hezzy Hybrid, episode 17 of After the Snap. I did not say this in the beginning like I always do, but if you guys are still here watching our repost, click that thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the page. We'll be back on Saturday giving our full rundown of our Sunday slate predictions. We're going to talk about the Thursday night football game and any other topics that come up. But I'm the Wager Zone, tuning out of here. You want to say bye to the people heads before I get out?
Yes, sir. As always, everybody stay positive, stay safe, stay hydrated, stay healthy. It's gonna start getting pretty chilly everywhere across the states. Drink your coconut waters. Drink that Purist, alkaline, whatever it is. Put some cucumbers, lemons, whatever you got to do, man. Just stay healthy because it's getting towards flu season, man, and not a lot of people have the best health. Just stay getting to it, man. Stay authentically yourselves, and nobody's gonna do it but you.
Yeah, and like you said, it's but getting to that season. In California out here, it's gonna be raining for the next like 5 days. So like we're gonna be getting a big old storm of rain gonna be coming in here for a while. So, but all right, guys, I'm Wager Zone. That's Hezzy Hybrid. We are gonna get out of here, and we will see you next time on Saturday. I'll see you, Hez.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Peace.